Welcome back to Fox and Friends. The FBI is investigating a targeted attack at a Michigan synagogue where a Lebanese national rammed his truck loaded with gasoline and fireworks into the building filled with children before taking his own life.
Brooke Taylor is live in West Bloomfield, Michigan, where the horrific attack took place with the latest on the ground. Good morning, Brooke.
Good morning, guys. Well, Michigan Governor Whitmer said if it were not for the quick actions of these heroic security guards who took action extremely quickly in this situation, this could have been another Sandy Hook. There were 140 children as young as 5 years old and younger that were inside of this temple at the Childhood Learning Center when the suspect plowed his truck through the entrance armed with a rifle and explosives. Miraculously, no students and staff were hurt. Now, the wannabe bomber, identified as 41-year-old Ayman Ghazali, a naturalized U.S. citizen born in Lebanon. Officials say on Thursday afternoon he rammed his truck through the synagogue, driving down the hall until his truck got jammed and armed security officers stopped him. He got into a gunfight with at least two of those security officers before officials say he shot and killed himself. Now, during that gunfight, his truck caught on fire and bursted into flames. Investigators say they found large quantities of commercial-grade fireworks and gasoline just 2 days before. Check this video out. This is him seen buying more than $2,000 worth of explosives at a Detroit area fireworks store. Officials say Ghazali's family members, including two brothers, were killed in an Israeli airstrike in Lebanon. Sources tell Fox the brothers were known members of Hezbollah. Meanwhile, Governor Whitmer called this attack clear anti-Semitism, hate, plain and simple, where Jewish babies were the target.
People like the person that attacked this community yesterday get fomented by rhetoric that they see online and that they see on television and they hear on the radio. It radicalizes people and it endangers our fellow Michiganders. We cannot let this continue.
Meanwhile, there was another attack on a Jewish school in Amsterdam early this morning. An explosion damaged the school. No one was injured, thankfully, but the city's mayor calls this a clear, deliberate attack on the Jewish community yet again, guys.
Brooke Taylor, thank you so much.
Thank you.
For more on this, let's bring in Saturday in America anchor Kayleigh McEnany. So great to see you this morning, Kayleigh, as always. It is kind of amazing to think about all of these things going on at a time where you have Democrats refusing to fund the Department of Homeland Security.
Yeah, and to emphasize what that means, because I think the average viewer thinks, oh, that's just border operations. No, DHS oversees Coast Guard. We have Coast Guard deployed overseas right now in battle. They oversee CISA, which is our nation's cybersecurity, at a time when, yes, Iran wants to strike our cyber grid. They oversee TSA. TSA, as you go through the airport, we all remember 9/11. There are so many entities under DHS that are instrumental to Homeland and national security, but Democrats are nowhere to be found unless your name's Senator John Fetterman.
Right. Yeah. A lot of people think TSA is under the Department of Transportation. I get a lot of those in my complaint box.
I bet you do.
It's not Department. It is Homeland Security, and it's such a great point. And, I can't think of anything that would, the president's trying to execute this war. Everyone in the country wishes success, whether they wanted to go in this war or not. Once we're in, we want success. But nothing will plummet support for this war than a domestic terrorist attack or continued. They've seen 4 of these. Why would they not do this? If you love your country, you want to make sure you're catching these people.
Yeah, it's putting politics over safety. I mean, plain and simple. They created a mess. We've all covered it on this couch. 2 million gotaways. Who are these gotaways? The millions of people who poured across the southern border. MS-13, Tren de Aragua. They are loose in our country. And yes, President Trump has done an extraordinary job removing these individuals, but there's still more work to be done. And we have a threat looming overseas that has now resulted in homegrown terrorism.
Right.
And we got to look at this.
In an elevated threat environment, the government shut down on February 14th. Since March 1st, you've had the attack in New York City, in Austin, Texas, in Michigan, and in Virginia. And yet you have people like Senator Elise Slotkin, who basically votes against funding DHS after seeing 4 terror attacks in 4 states in the country, knowing the DHS is in an elevated threat environment, and then goes to Michigan to a press conference with the governor and has this to say.
They have been, at work. Certainly in Michigan, we have a ton of DHS folks, CBP, and so they are on the call and they are doing their jobs. Certainly, we need to fund the Department of Homeland Security, and we need, in my view, to cut away all the conversation on ICE, which is its own conversation, from all the core missions of the Department of Homeland Security. But they're essential. They're on the job. They're working today.
Well, then, Alyssa, you should have voted for funding it, but there's hypocrisy here.
Yes, and after Trump's enormous victory, who did Democrats pick to give the response to his first joint address to Congress? The woman you just watched, who clearly does not have a moral center political compass. It flies with the wind until there's an attack on her district, and within 24 hours, she reverses herself. That is their guidepost. What they should be doing is funding DHS and partnering with Republicans to denaturalize individuals who come to this country and commit atrocities. It's a no-brainer. We now have, 3-4 data points? Partner with Republicans and fix this.
So can that be done, this denaturalizing people who have committed attacks or have ties to terrorism or communism? That can be done through what? Through Congress?
Yes, it's called the Scam Act. There are 4 components if you commit welfare fraud. Remember Minnesota? Hey, let's denaturalize anyone who's here who committed welfare fraud or some sort of entitlement fraud. Or if you've committed a crime. It's simple. It's plain and simple. It should be the Save America Act and the Scam Act, and they should pass
Put them together. I love it. Yeah. I'm voting for Kayleigh.
We're solving all the problems, Rachel.
I'm Steve Doocy.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.